Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Sport Vibes on DNTWOK. This week we are bringing to you yet another interesting story, one which you would learn so much from, and it's in the world of Formula One that we're going to right now. We're talking about a man who has cemented his place as a legend among the motorsport drivers and is still very much active racing. Ladies and gentlemen, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton set the world on fire on his very first serious run in a Formula One car. At Silverstone in September 2006, a 21-year-old Hamilton was given an evaluation test by McLaren as the team pondered his promotion to F1 the following year.
And they've got a world champion in the seat, and I just fingers crossed I can get either that seat or a test seat or maybe a race seat somewhere else. But I've done all I can do in any of the lower classes. There's nowhere else for me to go. So I'm banging on the door of Formula One, and that's where I want to be.
And by all standards, he impressed.
Lewis Hamilton allows himself a little punch in the air. I don't think I've seen that before. To win at Silverstone, as you said, Gareth Rees.
In 2007, he had Formula One's greatest debut season, in which he was unlucky not to win the title, but made amends a year later as one of the most dramatic finales in sporting history made him the youngest ever champion at the time.
And the result of it all is that Lewis Hamilton is the world champion. Unbelievable.
Year after year, Hamilton has gone on producing moments that have been carved into F1 legend. Jaw-dropping qualifying laps and remarkable race drives continuing through the campaigns with McLaren and his later move to Mercedes, where he has not only dominated on track, but become a global icon with a reach far beyond his sport. Hamilton's road to unprecedented success started at Rye House, an unassuming little go-kart track in southern England. It was there Hamilton went at the age of 8 with his father Anthony and a second-hand kart, and took his first step on the motorsport ladder.
Lewis Hamilton, and that will make it a hat-trick for Hamilton. Hamilton wins the race. Sheeta now is going to be second.
He immediately stood out, not only because he was good, but because he did not look like any of the other kids he was racing. Formula One had never had a black driver. Hamilton's family were neither wealthy nor white. His grandparents came to the UK from the Caribbean island of Grenada in the 1950s. His father Anthony lived in a council house in Stevenage and worked in IT for the railways. He took on extra jobs to supplement his income to find the money to support Lewis's racing, selling double glazing, washing dishes, putting up for sale boards for estate agents and so on. Money was not only the problem. The Hamiltons were usually the only black people at races, and there was racial abuse. According to many of those who have shared the journey with him, Hamilton is fair, generous, respectful, honest, and honorable, but also ruthless, focused, self-obsessed, and ultra-competitive. He's the most successful driver in the history of F1, and in the year 2020, he broke Michael Schumacher's record of 91 wins. He also equaled the German's record of 7 world championships, and despite slightly missing out last season, the Mercedes driver has every chance of adding an 8 in the upcoming season. Thanks for staying with us on Sport Vibes, still on DNTWOK. If you haven't subscribed yet, please ensure you do that. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button below. Also, try and ensure you share the video with your loved ones, your sport-loving friends, and even those that don't love sports. Who knows, maybe this might be that video that would invite them to partner with you when you are going to watch, or when you want to stay at home to watch any of your favorite sporting competitions. And talking about Lewis Hamilton now, is a legend, as we mentioned earlier, and you might have, if you're not familiar with the world of Formula One or motorsports, Lewis Hamilton is a legend. It bears repeating. And one or two things, one or two vibes you could catch from his story definitely has to be from the fact that this man had a modest background. He wasn't born with a silver spoon, but He has won races at Silverstone. This is a man that, you look at the story. At some point, his father had to take up several jobs just to ensure his child is among the wealthy guys in the community. You're talking about the Formula One competition that involves quite a number of wealthy people. A lot of money has to go in. So that goes to you as well. That business, that academic pursuits, whatever you are trying to lay your hands on, and maybe money is important. Maybe money has been the hindrance, or you're thinking the capital is still very small and the dream is quite big. Just start with something, start little. If you keep the dream alive, you never can tell how far you can go. And I can't predict that. Looking at the stories of these guys we've been viewing for the past few weeks, you would see that there is something that seems to bring them all together. It's the fact that there will always be challenges, hindrances will be there, could be in form of background, money, whatever it is. It could be in form of doubt, criticism. Talking about Lewis Hamilton yet again, you look at racism being the first black racer, the first black competitor in Formula One. That is huge because it's almost like you're in a strange land. Nobody looks like you. And then the criticism keeps coming as well. People don't hide that from your face when you are black. It could be a lot to swallow in for a young guy, and he kept persisting, he persevered, he endured. And another thing you should mention about that is that many times when you look at criticism, they are hurtful. They can be very, very painful to receive when you're on the receiving end. But sometimes you just have to settle down with the fact that it takes maturity to know that some of these criticisms are actually constructive. That is looking at our own personal lives now, looking away from racism. There's nothing positive about racism, but when you're talking about criticism, you would have to endure, and you would have to endure them because they are inevitable. When you're talking about those kind of criticisms, some of them actually are constructive in the sense that you might find the truth in what those people are saying. They may not really like you. Some of them may say it in such a way that would hurt. But when you know where you are going and you're determined, you can adjust. You could go like, maybe I should adjust in this area as well. Maybe I should pay attention more to this and adjust that. And sometimes that could be the missing link. Regardless of the challenge you face, just ensure you keep persisting. Forget those things that are behind and keep looking towards those things that are before. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. There is something in there. There's a strength in you. Like Lewis Hamilton, God has given every one of us something in there. It's just left for us to fan up the flames. The same applies to us on DNTWOK because we keep forgetting about those things that are behind. Of course, not about erasing them from our minds, but we are grateful for the number of positive comments we keep receiving from you as to how well we are doing. But as much as possible, we're trusting God not to relent, to keep serving you the very best from the world of sport on Sport Vibes or from any other area. Of course, Let's Talk also comes your way every week. And so this is the magnitude of Sport Vibes this week. I do hope you enjoyed and learnt a lesson or the other from the story of Lewis Hamilton. The Formula One season should be back shortly. A lot of anticipation regarding that. There will be no Formula One in Russia, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and expect the very best from the world of Formula One and several other sporting competitions happening across the globe. Thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget to follow us across our social media platforms at DNTWOK on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course, Telegram. My name is Bolaji Alimi, the Sports Pilot. Thank you for joining.